So today, we're going to talk about the career of Indian tennis player Ramkumar Ramanathan. And look, his story is about way more than just the shots he makes on the court. It's a really fascinating case study in strategy, adaptation, and what I like to call the art of the pivot. You know, if you watch men's tennis these days, it's pretty much all one thing, right? It's all about power from the baseline. With these modern rackets and strings, players can generate just insane amounts of topspin, forcing opponents into these long, grinding rallies. This whole, let's call it baseline warfare, it has totally become the dominant strategy. But in the process, it pushed out another way to play, a super aggressive, high-risk style that has almost completely disappeared.
And that's really the heart of our story today. At a time when pretty much everyone else was mastering that baseline game, why on earth did Ramkumar Ramanathan decide to build his entire career on reviving this so-called lost art? Well, let's dive in.
Okay, so to really get a handle on Ramanathan's journey, first we gotta understand the unique style of tennis he built his entire career around.
It's called the serve-and-volley, and honestly, it's all about pure aggression. You're not just sitting back on the baseline, waiting for the point to come to you. No way. You are taking control. You crack a serve, you sprint to the net, and you end the point fast, often with one decisive volley. It's absolutely thrilling to watch, but in the modern game, man, it's a real rarity.
So what's the recipe for a player like this? Well, it definitely starts with the physical tools. At 6'2", he's got the height for a massive serve. But a really crucial part of his development was his training over at the Sanchez Casal Academy in Spain. That's where he really sharpened that aggressive, net-rushing style that is just so deadly on fast grass courts.
So armed with this really unique style, Ramanathan set his sights on the world of singles tennis.
And you know what? He got incredibly close to the top. Just reaching an ATP final is a massive achievement, and for Indian tennis, this was a huge moment. It really showed that Ramanathan had the goods to compete at the absolute highest level.
And when you look at the timeline, you can see this clear upward path in his career. He really burst onto the scene in 2014 with a monster win over a top 10 player. And by 2018, he'd made it to an ATP final and hit his career high ranking. His singles career was definitely on the up and up.
But here's the thing about professional tennis. That climb to the very, very top is just incredibly tough. That jump from being ranked, say, 150 in the world to cracking the top 50, it is a brutal, brutal grind. And this is where Ramanathan's story gets really interesting. He kind of hit a ceiling in his singles career, and he made a very, very smart strategic pivot.
111. That was his career-high singles ranking. Now, that is an incredible achievement, don't get me wrong, but it's just outside that magic top 100, which is really where you need to be to get into the biggest tournaments automatically. So the question for him became, is there another path to success? And when you just lay out the numbers, the story becomes crystal clear. 0 ATP titles in singles, compared to 2 in doubles. A career-high rank of 111 in singles, versus a top 60 ranking in doubles. I mean, the data was telling him exactly where he was having the most success.
And this is exactly why that pivot to doubles made so much sense. See, in doubles, the points are way quicker, and controlling the net is absolutely crucial. So that serve and volley style that was becoming a bit of a liability in singles, it turned out to be the perfect weapon for a top doubles player.
So, after refocusing his whole career on doubles, Ramanathan didn't just find a little bit of success. No, he became a champion.
And the results? They came fast. In 2022, he won 2 ATP Tour titles, partnering with Indian tennis legend Rohan Bopanna. He also became this essential player for India's Davis Cup team. The pivot to doubles wasn't just working, it was paying off in a huge way.
So when you look back, what's the ultimate lesson from Ramkumar Ramanathan's career? It's really about something much bigger than just wins and losses.
His story is just a perfect example of what you'd call strategic self-awareness. He knew he had a unique talent with the serve and volley game, and when he hit that ceiling in his singles career, he didn't just quit. Nope. He reassessed his strengths and found a whole new path where those exact same skills could lead him to championship-level success. And that really leaves us with a final question to think about. Ramanathan's career kind of makes you ask, is true success found by stubbornly sticking to plan A no matter what? Or is it about having the wisdom to recognize when your skills are a perfect match for a different, and maybe even better, plan B? It's a powerful thought, right? Not just for tennis, but really for any path we choose in life.